Hello, everyone. I noticed there seems to be a lot of misinformation online regarding which insert can be found in which Signal magazine. So, today I wanted to just explain the facts to you. So, first of all, my name is Lucas. I'm a collector from Belgium, and I mostly collect German items from World War II, but above all, I love the Signal magazine and I have a great passion for it. I also made a list which you can easily contact me for it. My printer is a little bit messed up. It has a bit of issues, so the color is not completely correct here. So yeah, let's start. First of all, I have to mention that these magazines fall into two separate categories. You have the extras, the Signal extras, which is a line of inserts they did very late in the war. From just 6 of these exist, and then you have all other official Signal inserts that can be found throughout earlier stages in the war, but also later. So these first 6 that we will be talking about, the real Signal extras, exist in all languages as far as I'm concerned. So if the magazine exists, the extra also exists. So this is something you can check for your collection. If you notice the cover of the magazine, it should have it inside. I have yet to find any languages that really do not have it. Languages. So first of all, you have number 11 from 1944. It should always contain this extra. It talks about why Germany shoots the V1 rockets at civilians in England. Of course, everything you read in these magazines should be taken with a very big grain of salt, because after all, it is still propaganda. Then it skips one magazine, and number 13 is the next one that should have one. This is the German edition. It should contain this magazine. This insert. It's just it shows how V1 rockets were how they were prepared for launch. Also, I want to note that this one should be 2 different sheets of paper. Also the first one, the from number 11, so this one also needs to have 4 pages. Also, a little fun fact, the Spanish version of this magazine has yet to have been found, but the extra has actually been found. So yeah. Also, another fun fact about this one is the only magazine with a yellow back cover. Why this is done exactly, I don't know, but I assume it's a proof of concept, that this is a prototype thing, that they just wanted to try something new, see if it would increase sales. But, yeah. Then it skips another one, skips number 14, it goes to 15. This is again the Norwegian edition. It contains this insert, this extra. This one should actually be 3 sheets of paper long. It talks about the Warsaw Uprising. Or actually, I'm sorry, this one should also be 2. Excuse me. This talks about the Warsaw Uprising. It also contains this very nice picture of a half-track with the side-mounted rocket system. Next up, number 17, it again skips one. Kind of, take that with a grain of salt. Because number 16 does in fact have one, but it's one of the as far as I'm concerned, it does not exist in every language. It's also not an extra, it's just an insert, but we'll get to that later. So this is number 17, this is the Italian edition. Also, I want to note, if you see below here, this is a printing error. This is the price in Italian, lire. I'm sorry, I don't know. But behind this sticker is the number 4. This was a printing error, or maybe due to inflation. This was applied by the, as far as I'm concerned, the bookshops themselves, this sticker. And there is also, but this is super specific. There's many variations on this sticker, but that's one of those things you only notice if you've been, if you collect these like I'm doing. So it should contain this one. It's also about the Warsaw Uprising. This one is actually the one that needs to have 3 sheets of paper, as you can see. So you just want to make sure that these are complete, because these are always loose. So it's possible that one is missing. It's not often, but I do own an example where the middle page is missing. So. And next up, it actually does not skip one. So this is the Slovak or Slovakian edition of number 18, 1944. This one should contain this insert. It's called the battle against time, so to speak. I believe this is English bombs on a U-boat bunker in France. I'm sorry, I don't remember exactly. I believe this talks about the U-boat bunkers. Should be 2 pages, 2 sheets. Also, I want to note that these are usually marked in the back with a number. So this is SL is the country code. So Slovakian number 5. This is the 5th extra that exists of the main line of extras. Then lastly, it skips basically every magazine until the very last magazine that exists, with the exception of German and Dutch. German and Dutch are the only one that have number 5. So this is number 4, number 5. It actually does not exist in Swedish, which is very interesting, because the Swedish edition does in fact have number 6 of 1945, which is a very hard one to find. I don't have any information of it. I was very glad to, very happy to receive a PDF copy of it in very low quality. So if somebody was to own it, which I highly doubt, I would love to even hear about it, to know anything of where it is today, because I believe one copy exists somewhere in a collection. Anyways, this one contains, it's a bit smaller. I actually never noticed it. It's a smaller one, but this one talks about the V2 rocket. This is number 6. It should be marked number 6, as you can see. D6. This is German from Deutsch. Number 6, of course. This is about the V2 rockets. Very cool. Very, very nice one, if you ask me, this one. I think it's very cool for it to be this late war, you know, for it to be actually true. This one actually, this talks about the possibilities of taking this rocket technology to the moon in the future. So already in 1945 they were already thinking about it. And of course V2 rockets were developed by I forgot his name. Yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot his name. He went to America later. He also worked on the Apollo programs. I'm sure you know him. I'm sure. I just can't remember the name at the moment. I don't know. So yeah, these were all 6 of the main ones that should have it inside. In all languages. These exist in all languages as far as I'm concerned. I mean, feel free to prove me wrong that you actually, but you know, proving something doesn't exist is easier than it's harder than proving something does exist, because how do you prove something that isn't there, you know? Anyway, next up you have the other ones that were distributed throughout Signal's life. I only count the official ones here. There are more papers that you can find in Signal magazines, but they are very local production, and I cannot count these. There's many of these that exist, especially in Spanish and Portuguese and Russian, for example. But my knowledge on those languages is just not enough, and I don't think anybody really knows. I can give you a list if you want, but searching, but they were put in by local, because due to local political interests, they were different. They could not be officially printed to many languages. It's a very complicated story. Also ones that were like sold at the the embassy in Spain, I believe. But that's a story for another video, so you would have to let me know if you want to see it. Anyways, the first one that came out is number 8, 1943. This is the Dutch edition with logo Signal. It's the Terror insert, or Terreur. Should be one single folded sheet of paper. It talks about English bombardments and civilian deaths in Antwerp and Berlin. Then next up, this one also from the Dutch edition. This is the Liberation of Mussolini insert. It should be one single sheet, a full sheet of paper. Also just want to mention that it does, in fact, you know, they exist in other languages, but maybe not all of them. This is, for example, the Norwegian edition of the insert. Also just one sheet. They're all the same, with one small exception, but I've yet to find solid proof of this being the case. But the Italian edition apparently has 4 pages. So what I mean is 2 sheets of paper. Apparently, I don't own it, and I've not seen any pictures of this supposed extra middle page that should be in between. So anyways, this is the Norwegian version. Then it skips a lot of numbers without any extras in it, any official extras, that is, until number 7, 1944. This one, for example, I do not think it exists in Italian, because I have this magazine many times in Italian and I should have had the extra by now. This is the Spanish version. Here it is mentioned on the top that it has it inside. The French edition also mentions this, but for example, the Dutch edition does not mention that it has the insert inside, but it does exist in Dutch, the insert. So you cannot use this as proof of it existing or not. Anyways, it's the bombs on Montmartre in Paris. It's Allied bombings on Germany. It's often the same propaganda that they were feeding the people. Because this is, after all, one of the only, real crimes that the Allies committed, were the civilian deaths by bombardment. But it's a complicated matter. So anyway, it skips a lot of numbers till this one. It's a very, very nice cover. I think this is the best cover Signal ever made of the SS soldiers. This is actually a very unknown fact that I want to tell you. This is actually, I don't know how to pronounce it, but Villers-Bocage in Normandy. This tank that you see here, this is actually the knocked out tank of Michael Wittmann. After his attack on his very famous attack in Normandy. If you know, you know about it. If you have any interest in World War II, I'm pretty sure you've heard about it. He knocked out like what 20 something English tanks. You can also see in the middle pages, this is the wreckage of it. I've also never seen these photographs included in any books. This is a color picture of the damage he committed as far as I'm concerned. Or maybe it was this one. I have to lie, I'm not sure about it anymore. I would have to Google it again. I mean, not even Google. You cannot find this information, but you have to compare the pictures. Anyways, it should have this one inside. It's a very fragile paper about Heinrich Himmler meeting the Russian general Vlasov. Now this is the Norwegian edition. It also exists in Danish, German and French, and I have yet to see any other examples. But I'm sure they exist. I'm sure they exist. So that was about all of the extras that I have in my collection. There's actually a few more that I do not own any copies of yet, sadly enough. That said, let's get to the other ones.
So then to start with the editions that I do not own myself, the first one is number 1 from 1944, the Swedish edition. It contains an insert of a list of, I suppose, German soldiers that were killed. I mean, possibly volunteers or something. I don't dare to say. Then the next one is number 18 from 1943. It's a Bulgarian edition. Notably, the cover is black. It's the only magazine that has this black cover. It's because the magazine commemorates or mourns the death of King Boris III. The insert inside also talks just about that, about his funeral. Then next up is from the Russian edition. It's a double edition, number 11/12 from 1944. It contains also an insert. So that was all. Thank you very, very much for watching. If you have any questions, just let me know. I will gladly answer these for you. It was my first ever video, so don't, it's not the best, the editing and all, but I'm sure it will get better if I ever decide to make more. So, and of course, I will be very happy to see if any of you actually like and subscribe to this video.